The darkness continues.
Tonight, on this episode of Them Old Mama, I bring you mamas who kill. Them old mama.
Dark X.
Think about this.
You put that crap down on your shoe.
Them old mama.
Dark X.
You put that crap down on your shoe.
Think about this. Think about this. Think about this. Think about this.
Another.
The darkness continues.
And we are back. T.P.O.T. Welcome back to another edition of the Popular Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Now, tonight, another dark exodus. And tonight, we do our annual Old Mama's Day tribute. And boy, I got some good stories for y'all tonight. Boy, I got some doozies. Because I was thinking about the last time we did one of these, and I actually had a couple of y'all wrote me. And y'all was like, oh, you should, do one of these like every couple of weeks. But see, what y'all didn't know is that I do something like this. Once it gets close to Mother's Day, I always do like like a yearly thing, when we talk about these old mamas. And tonight, you meet mamas tonight that wanted out of Mother's Day. Yeah, they were tired of being called mom. They were tired of Mother's Day. So they got rid of the people who called them mother. That's what we got going on tonight, folks. But before we get started, and if y'all notice me squinting tonight, it's not that I'm high or something's going on. I can't find my damn glasses. They're around here somewhere, but I can't find them. I need my glasses so I can find my glasses. So I probably won't find them tonight. But y'all know I always start the stream off, man, with thanking you good folks, man, for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I realize you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to show up to these goddamn streams. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to share them. You don't have to like them. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned coins on this platform. But you good folk choose to do so, man. Night after night, week after week, you are here, no matter what. And I am humble. I'm honored. I'm appreciative, man. Because I don't take you good folk lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. And I thank you, man. And that goes for all the folks who hang out there and the folks who hang out up in here. All right? All right. So let's get at it. Like I said, it's it's close to Mother's Day. I believe it's Sunday. And it's one of those days where, you buy your mom a gift. You bake her a cake. You take her to Red Lobster. Many of you've heard me say this before. On Mother's Day, if you get in your car and drive around to places like the Olive Garden, Red Lobster, wherever people sit down and eat, even places like Chili's, Ruby Tuesdays, places like that, little kind of restaurants where you go and you eat. And on Mother's Day, you cannot get in the fucking door. People are lined up. Parking lot full. Go there on Father's Day, though. There won't be a soul in sight. You can literally yell down in there, and it'll sound like this. Hello. not on Mother's Day, because everybody loves Mama, right? She's your most important parent. The old man, he means nothing. He just contributed a little sperm, Don't really need him, right? But old mom, worshipped. She's a deity, God-like, queen-like, infallible. Nothing mom does is wrong, right? And you love old mama, and she loves you. She looks forward to that day in May, don't she? That first Sunday, knowing you're going to come around and take mom out, give mom a gift, have a barbecue, cook her a dinner, and the joy that you see on mom's face, right? All her offspring there. I love you, mom. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there are some people, there's some old mamas. They think something's very wrong with that, don't they? Now, if you look to my right here, see my screen? You see those faces flashing by. Every single one of those women you see going past that screen and the children that are in those pictures, every single one of those kids you see are dead. Every single one. You see mom smiling and laughing with them in the photos and holding them and hugging them, and they looking at mom like mom is Jesus, not even realizing that soon she would be the one to end their lives. And I know y'all get mad at me because I get up here and talk about these old mamas. I know you do. You say to yourself, X, you're always talking about our mothers. And you talk about black mothers. White women do it too. Latino women do it too. And guess what? I agree with you. Look at the screen. There's all stripes of old mamas up there, ain't it? White, black, Latino. I never said old mamas was limited to black folks, did I? No. And notice, these are old mamas y'all haven't seen up here before, have you? These are new old mamas. Straight from the archives of T.P.O.T. Because, boy, I got so many of them, y'all. 60, 70, 80 stories, man. It's not like I have to look hard. I don't even have to go, like, on Google to find this stuff. I could just look at my own computer and pull out story after story after story after story after story. But we're going to get into this because tonight we're not just going to get into these old mamas who killed the kids. We're going to start there, but we're going to slowly walk into the psychology, the minds behind these old mamas. So let us begin. We start out 19 moms who kill their kids. And this article here is from the Thought Catalog, and I know what y'all gonna say. That's the white man's data, X. So yeah, it's the white man's data, but just take it with a salt mine. Instead of a grain of salt, take it with a whole salt mine. In there where the salt is, it's not even white yet, it's gray. And they scrape it off the walls, it's still gray because they got to put it on the truck and take it to the processing plant and make it white. So just take it with a salt mine. Take it with a salt mine, folk. That's all. But anyway, let's read 19 moms who killed their kids. We start here. Someone by the name of Megan Huntsman says here, 39-year-old Megan Huntsman of Pleasant Grove, Utah, has allegedly confessed to fatally strangling and suffocating 6 of her newborn babies from 1996 to 2006. So for a decade, this old mama was just murdering the babies with impunity, right? Acting on a tip from her estranged husband, police searched her home in April 2014 and found 7 dead infants, 6 of them stuffed into cardboard boxes. The 7th infant had reportedly been stillborn. A search of court records revealed that apart from a 2011 traffic citation, Huntsman had no criminal record. The technical term for when a mother kills her child is maternal filicide. Remember that, y'all. An estimated 200 women kill their children every year in the United States. 200 women kill their kids every year. So that's at least 200 kids killed. And that's the mothers who only have one kid. As y'all will see tonight, many of these old mamas have 2 and 3 and 4 kids. They just murder them in the crib. Shoot them, stab them, choke them, drown them, the whole 9. But we continue. I use the term kill rather than murder because the latter has a legal meaning, and even mothers who deliberately kill their children often are found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity. Oh yeah, that's always the play, right? I was insane. I had postpartum depression. I lost my mind. The devil made me do it. Spirits was in my head. Just a whole litany of foolishness. In fact, a 1969 study conducted by Dr. Philip Resnick found that when mothers kill their kids, 68% are sent to mental hospitals and only 27% are sent to prisons. When fathers kill their children, 72% go to prison and only 14 are hospitalized. Let's read that again. When mothers kill their kids, 68% are sent to mental hospitals and only 27% are sent to prison. When fathers kill their children, 72% go to prison and only 14% are hospitalized. But we're not surprised, right? There's no way they would do the same thing to women that they do to men. You're a man, you kill your kid, there's like a 70% chance that you're going to the penitentiary. If you're a woman, it's only a 27% chance. So it's probably a pretty good deal, right? They take their chances. They know they're not going to prison anyway. I'll kill the kids. I'll go to the mental institution for a little while. come back out, fuck some more, and have some more kids, and maybe kill them too if I feel like it. Right? But we continue. In 1997, a U.S. Department of Justice study found that children under the age of 8 are more likely to be killed by their mothers, while those 8 and older are more likely to be killed by their fathers. Throughout childhood, sons are more likely to be killed than are daughters. If you're looking for examples of female privilege, look no further than those stats. Presented in alphabetical order, there are 19 other mothers who killed their children. Here we have China Arnold. In 2005, China Arnold of Dayton, Ohio, stuffed her 3-week-old daughter into a microwave oven and burned her to death after arguing with her boyfriend about the child's biological father. Just let that float around in your mind for a while. She put her daughter into a microwave oven and just turned it on and just let her cook in there like a pot pie or a beef patty. What kind of mind takes a 3-week-old infant, stick the infant in the microwave, and cook it? And her reasoning, she was arguing with her boyfriend. But we continue. Next up, Kenesha Berry. A pair of Texas dumpster divers in 1998 pulled out a bag from a trash bin that they initially thought contained a baby doll's leg. Instead, it was the corpse of the 4-day-old son of daycare worker Kenesha Berry. She had duct taped his mouth shut, stuffed him into a black plastic bag, and tossed him into the bin where he died of suffocation. Four days old, duct taped his mouth, stuffed him into a trash bag, threw him in the trash. 4 days old. We go down. Here we have Miss Diane Downs. In 1983, Oregon mother of 3, Diane Downs, drove into a hospital emergency room with her blood-soaked children and a bullet wound in her forearm, claiming a busty-haired stranger had carjacked and shot them. As her story unraveled, it became evident that it was Downs who pulled the trigger, killing her 7-year-old daughter. So she goes into the hospital and says, "Oh, we've been shot." Now, she was telling the truth, but she was lying about who had shot her, and the kid as well. But we move on. Brenda Drayton, after a previous hospitalization for failing under the delusion that there were snakes in her body, 29-year-old Brenda Drayton of Flint, Michigan, strangled her 2-year-old daughter to death, believing it had been the devil's baby. A decade earlier, her infant son had died of malnutrition and dehydration. So, 10 years before this, she had already let one kid just die of starvation and no water, nothing. But somehow she was able to have another baby and killed her too because she said it was the child of the devil. It was the child of the devil. But we continue. I told y'all I had some good stories for y'all tonight. Shaquan Dooley, a disturbingly common MO for mothers who kill their kids to drive them into a body of water until they drown. The case was slightly different in 2010 when Shaquan Dooley of South Carolina suffocated her two sons, 18 months old and 2 years old, with her bare hands in a motel room before strapping them into car seats and rolling them into a river. She kills them, and after she kills them, she takes them, she puts them in car seats, and then rolls the car into the river. And see, this is the problem, right? I read to y'all before that they always get this insanity stuff. Only about 60 something percent of them end up not going to jail and end up in some mental institution. You know, the devil made me do it. I'm crazy. I'm all this kind of stuff. But you do this crazy stuff. You crazy when you kill the kid. As you're killing the kid, you're crazy. You're insane. You're having a mental episode, right? But somehow you have the wherewithal to put the babies in the car seat, strap them in, and then once you strap them in, you also have the wherewithal to roll the goddamn car into the lake. So are you vacillating between a sanity and insanity throughout those moments? You're insane while you're killing the babies, and then you become sane again and strap them in, and then go insane for another minute, and then you get sane again and roll the car into the river. I mean, what? What? I see y'all putting RIP to Brother Samuels in the chat. Um, do are are y'all sure that this is true? I have spoken to some people that has said it is not. So, do y'all have some new information? Do y'all know something I don't know? I mean, far as I know, it's not true. At least that's what I've been told. Okay. Um, until I hear different, I'm not going to yeah, brother Clue. I mean, until I hear different, I'm just gonna go with, it's some PR stunt. It's, it's something like that, something of that nature. Because like I said, I've talked to a few people and they say it's not true. So I mean, yeah, they say it's not true, and a couple of these people actually, have communication with Brother Samuel. So I'm not even gonna buy into that. All right. I'm not even gonna buy into that. But we continue. Dora Lutz, Doran Rostro. In 1994, Dora Lutz, Doran Rostro of San Jacinto, California, stabbed 3 of her children to death. 2 daughters, aged 4 and 9, as well as her 8-year-old son. Police officers remarked that Doran Rostro never showed remorse or sadness, even after we told her we found the body of her 3rd child. Of course, they're not going to show remorse. Are you kidding me? There's never no remorse in this. Y'all know the deal. Y'all see the people behind this banner, the Momnificent Seven. There is never any remorse. Ever. These kids just dead. But we continue. Susan Eubanks. At the age of 33, Susan Eubanks shot 4 of her sons, ages 14, 7, 6, and 4, to death, execution style, in her San Marcos, California home. She allegedly blamed her alcoholic parents and subpar mental health treatment. Like I say, I'm crazy. I've lost my mind. It's always that. But we move down, and this is a familiar name. This is actually one of the Momnificent Seven here. Miss Jeanette Hawes. Early in 2009, Jeanette Michelle Hawes of Augusta, Georgia, walked into a convenience store bathroom and stabbed her 3-year-old daughter, Shakayla, and 1-year-old son, Jordan, to death. She was found not guilty by what? Reason of insanity. Prepare to hear that a lot tonight, right? Prepare to hear that a lot. But we move on. Deborah Jenner Tyler. In 1987, using a kitchen knife in a metal toy airplane, South Dakotan Deborah Jenner Tyler stabbed her 3-year-old daughter, Abby Lynn, 70 times, killing her. Jenner Tyler claimed she had been working a lot and was under a lot of stress, and that her daughter had been acting very finicky. So she decided to kill her. We continue. Michelle Kehoe. After initially claiming one morning in 2008 that her 2 sons had been abducted, Iowan Michelle Kehoe was found guilty of murder by a jury who heard audio tape of her son Sean, 7 at the time. She attempted to kill him, testifying how she duct taped his eyes and mouth before slashing his throat. She had done the same to her 2-year-old son Seth, murdering him in the process. Wow. But we move on. Deanna Laney. Late one night, May 2003, Deanna Laney awoke and led her 2 oldest sons, 8-year-old Joshua and 6-year-old Luke, outside her home, where she proceeded to smash in their skulls with a giant rock. Once again, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity. But we continue. Christina Miracle. The ominously named Christina Miracle of Miami Township, Ohio, killed her 6-year-old son in a bizarre religious ceremony in which she allegedly thought she was resurrecting her dead brother while baptizing her son. The child was apparently beaten before being suffocated to death. Unreal. Number 14. Another one of the Momnificent Seven. Y'all have heard me talk about her before. Frances Newton. After taking out life insurance policies on family members and herself, 21-year-old Frances Newton of Houston, Texas, used her boyfriend's gun to kill her husband, her 7-year-old son, and her 21-month-old daughter in April 1987. She received the death penalty and died from lethal injection in 2005. All I can say to that is hallelujah. Hallelujah. But we continue. Robin Lee Rowe. In 1992, Robin Lee Rowe, infamous for being Idaho's only female death row inmate, apparently turned off the smoke alarm in an apartment where her estranged husband, 10-year-old son, and 8-year-old daughter were living, squirted a liquid accelerant all over the premises and set it ablaze, killing all of them. She had previously collected $28,000 in life insurance policy for another son who had died in 1980 when his blankets caught fire from a portable heater. We continue. Dina Slosher. In November of 2004, Dina Slosher used a knife to amputate both arms of her 11-month-old daughter, killing her. Police arrived at the scene to find a blood-soaked Slosher, knife in hand, singing songs to Jesus. She was found not guilty by reason of insanity. And I know y'all all know this name, Susan Smith. In 1994, South Carolinian Susan Smith told the police that a black man had stolen her car and abducted her two sons, 3-year-old Michael and 14-month-old Alex. In truth, she had strapped them to car seats and pushed the car into a lake, drowning them. Mary Beth Tinning. Mary Beth Tinning's case is the most similar to that of Utah's Megan Huntsman, in that she is apparently a serial killer, i.e., she allegedly snuffed her children in a series of events scattered over the years. Rather than killing them all in one shot, she oversaw the deaths of 9 of her children, one of whom was adopted, during a 14-year stretch ending in 1985. She confessed to smothering 3 of them, but was convicted of only one murder and is currently serving a life sentence. So she kills 9 kids and they can only hang one on her. Well, I tell you. And where are these kids' fathers, man? Like, where are these kids' fathers, man? That lets you know that these chicks are just some randoms that, I guess screwed and got knocked up and the dude didn't want them. So now they got the kids and their only option is to kill the kids for whatever reason. That's their only option. But we continue. Is another famous name, Andrea Yates. One day in June 2001, Andrea Yates methodically drowned all 5 of her children, aged 7 years down to 6 months, in the bathtub of her home in Houston, Texas. She told the police and psychiatrists that Satan had ordered her to kill them so that they could be saved from hell. Like so many other killer moms, she successfully copped an insanity plea. Ay, ay, ay. What I'm going to do, as always, good folk, I'm going to take this article, put it in the chat. Peace, brother Big Pontiac. I see you up there, brother. Don't just listen to me. Take this article and read it for yourself. Come to your own conclusions. But like I said, I always bring y'all some real doozies when it comes to these old mammies. So I don't even think I shock y'all anymore, do I? Do I still continue to shock y'all? There's no way I continue to shock you, man. But I do come with some doozies. All right? But we move on because, like I said, we want to get into the why. Why does this happen? Why does this happen? Why do they do it? What is wrong? with these women? What's going on in their minds? So we pull up this here, right? And this here is from Vice, some more of the white man's data. So take it with a grain of salt. And it says why some mothers kill their children. Now, this is an older study, it's like 17 years old. But it says, according to a 2005 study, maternal filicide occurs more frequently in the United States than developing nations. We asked psychologists and researchers about what would drive a mother to kill their own children. On October 2, 2006, 31-year-old single mother Elaine Campion took out her video camera and filmed her two young daughters, 3-year-old Serena and 19-month-old Sophia, playing around their Barrie, Ontario apartment. In the footage, clips of Serena coloring in the living room and telling her mother how much she loves her are intercut with Sophia splashing in the bathwater while Campion sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Later, off camera, Campion drowned her two daughters in the family bathtub. She dried off their bodies, put them in their pajamas, and laid the girls hand in hand on her bed. A turquoise rosary and a photo album between the deceased sisters. She then took what she thought was an overdose of clozapine, a medication prescribed to treat bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, and went back into her living room and continued recording. The video shows Campion now alone, sitting on her couch, sobbing as she rants towards the camera she set across the room. The nearly 10-minute long manifesto is directed at her ex-husband, Leo Campion, whom she claims beat and abused her, and their eldest daughter. The couple was in the middle of a heated custody battle. After their divorce, Campion and the girls moved to a women's shelter and then assisted living. The Campions were due in court later that week. And you see, that's another thing, right? These women, a lot of them are married. They split up with the husband. There's a custody battle. And if they think they're going to lose custody or they're going to have to give up 50-50 custody, what do? They'll turn around and kill the kids. They would rather the kids be dead than be with their father. They rather kill the babies than have the babies go to their father. I don't know which old mamas are worse. The mamas who kill the kids because the man don't want them. The old mamas who kill the kids because they scared they're going to have to give the kids up. The old mamas who kill the kids because they're just totally insane. Because you got to think about it. I mean, to kill your own children, there's got to be something wrong with you, right? Or so you would think. But these crazy, insane women who stab the kids and drown them and shoot them, it's like after they've murdered the children, they somehow come to a moment of clarity and they're able to, drive them off and put the dead bodies in their Sunday best and put books in their hand and lay them across the bed. And when they don't do that, they have the wherewithal to wrap them up in plastic and put them in the cellar and put air fresheners all around so you don't smell their little decomposing bodies. And somehow, like I said earlier, only 27% of these women who do this, man, end up going to prison. The rest of them get off by way of saying, I'm insane. Postpartum depression. I lost my mind. The devil made me do it. And I'll say again, let me reiterate, when men kill one of their children, they go to prison 72% of the time. Women, 27% of the time they go to prison. Men, 72% of the time they go to prison. So you talking almost 3 times. If you're a man, you're 3 times more likely to go to prison for this than your baby mama is if she happens to do this. Because for some reason, I guess it's easier to believe that a woman is crazy, right? People feel sorry for them. Oh, she was going through a crisis. Oh, this was happening. Oh, the husband left her. Postpartum depression, nervous breakdown, menopause, everything. There's just a litany of the goddamn reasons that we assign to why they do this. And who ends up suffering the most? The kids. I read to y'all earlier, 200 mothers on average kill their children every year. So that's at least 200 children killed by their old mamas, at least. And that's not counting the old mamas who killed 3 and 4 of them. So it's probably more than 200 kids. It's probably 400, 500, right? Because if it's 200 women on average who kill their children every year, if each one of those women have 2 kids, that's 400 kids murdered off top. And you know, with some of these old mamas, they got a plethora of kids, you know. I just read y'all a story earlier where one woman, hold on, y'all, get some of these alerts is popping up. One woman killed 9 of her children, all 9. So by herself, she's killed 9 kids. Have a baby, kill it. A year later, have a baby, kill it. And it's like, who's climbing on top of these women? These women that kill 8 and 9 and 10 of their kids in a row. Who fathered number 3 kid? You didn't know she had killed the other 2? Or the man who fathered the number 6 kid? You didn't know she had killed number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5? You didn't wonder where those kids were? You didn't wonder what happened? You didn't know? You didn't smell those decomposing bodies in the basement? I mean, it's just crazy. But we're going to zoom past this and go down here. It's nearly impossible for most people to understand, how a parent could deliberately murder their own child. And it continues to go on with Miss Campion's story. You know, she was insane. You know, she had lost her mind and all that kind of foolishness. So we go down a little further. There are so many serious reasons that might cause a mother to kill her child, including childhood abuse, postpartum psychosis, and other mental illnesses. Let's go down a little more. Because here they're talking about Andrea Yates. We're going to go past that. And I think that's the end of it. I think that's the end of it. So what I'm going to do, y'all know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this article, put it in the chat. You can read it for yourselves. Don't listen to me. Read it. Come to your own conclusions, folk. Come to your own conclusions. But I want to go somewhere else. I want to go here. Oh, and we got some breaking news across the ticker. Hold on. Here we are. Let me see. What is this? 3-year-old slept on Florida sidewalk as mother went to nightclub. Let me read that again. 3-year-old slept on Florida sidewalk as mother went to nightclub. Oh my God. Y'all want to hear this? Y'all want to hear this? Let's go ahead. Let's listen. Oh, it's not talking. Okay, it's playing too much music. Fuck around and get me goddamn copyright and shit. So we're just going to read it. It says here, Florida mother hit up a nightclub for over an hour as her toddler slept on the sidewalk and her 2 other kids were home alone, authorities said. Shyla Heidelberg, 25, was arrested Saturday after one of her children, a 3-year-old, was discovered at 1 a.m. wrapped in a blanket while asleep on a sidewalk outside an apartment complex in Fort Walton Beach, according to the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office. Responding deputies then found Heidelberg's 2 other children asleep and alone inside a unit at the Choctaw Village Apartments, where a security officer at the complex had initially spotted the 3-year-old outside, WKRG reported. Heidelberg, who was busted when she returned home, admitted to investigators she had gone out to a nightclub about 90 minutes earlier and left her kids behind to fend for themselves, deputies said. And there she is, our old mama of the year here. And how the hell is her black ass name Heidelberg? How the hell her ass name Heidelberg? But we continue. Heidelberg was charged with 3 counts of child neglect without great bodily harm. She was released from custody Sunday, jail records show. She denied the allegations when reached for comment early Monday. It wasn't true, she told the Post during a brief interview. I have proof that I wasn't in the nightclub. But wait a minute. You told the police that you were in the club. Now you're saying you weren't? But what am I saying? Doesn't the lie always comes, doesn't it? It's always the lie, right? Heidelberg said she has footage from her Ring doorbell camera that proves she didn't leave her children to go to the club, as well as a few witnesses who will vouch for her whereabouts. A couple people can state that I wasn't there, Heidelberg insisted before hanging up. It's unclear if Heidelberg of Fort Walton Beach has hired an attorney. Now, This woman here, she goes to the club. She's got 3 kids, right? And I don't know why you brothers climb on top of some of these women. I mean, why do y'all climb on top of these women? And she's got 3 kids, so it ain't even like it's just one of you brothers. It's just multiple. Unless they're all by the same dude, which I doubt, which I seriously doubt. But y'all will climb on top of anybody. Y'all just will, man. But she leaves 2 of the kids home, which is absurd by itself. She takes the little one with her, puts her in a blanket on the sidewalk, and goes into the nightclub and parties while the baby's sleeping outside on the sidewalk. I mean, what do you say about people like this? Who can defend it? Except say she's going through something. Except say she's got mental problems, or she was stressed out, or there's nothing you can really say to this kind of stuff, man. What can you say to a woman who will, number one, leave 2 kids at the house by themselves, go to the nightclub, and put the baby on the sidewalk while she goes into the club? And she's up there looking just as unconcerned. They always have that far away look in their eye, like nothing to see here. Nothing's happening here. Yeah, I left the kids at the crib by themselves, and I took the other kid, laid them on the sidewalk, and I went on inside the nightclub and partied and had me a few drinks and came out. No big deal, right? I mean, these people are a different kind of crazy, right? They are the kind of crazy that makes them, number one, not see the humanity of these children. Number two, not have a full grip on reality. Because you don't have a full grip on reality, man, when you just leave your kids somewhere while you take off. You take your baby and you lay your baby on the ground and you go inside the damn club. These women don't have a grip on reality, man. They don't. These old mamas have no business with children. They have no business with children, man. None whatsoever. And notice with all the stories that I've told y'all tonight, what's been missing from these stories? Mention of fathers. Mention of fathers. So let's go here. The role a father plays in child abuse prevention. Yeah, that's right. More of the white man's data. And this is from nortonschildrens.com. And what it says is, studies consistently show a father's involvement is associated with better outcomes for nearly every measure of a child's well-being. Fathers also play a crucial role in child abuse prevention. A child's well-being is based on many social factors, this article says, tied to their parents. According to David Kozart, director of the Lexington Leadership Foundation's Fatherhood Initiative, a critical social factor influencing the health and well-being of children is their fathers. According to David, not only do fathers play a critical role in the healthy development of children, families, and communities, they also play a crucial role in the prevention of child abuse. But we know all this stuff already, don't we, folks? We know that you are less likely to be abused and whipped if your father's in your life. You're less likely to be stabbed or shot if your father's in your life. As a kid, you're less likely to be found in a garbage can somewhere if a father is in your life. We know this. We know this. But let's continue. I believe a father's absence is a public health issue, David said. Our chances of enhancing child well-being and the human condition overall, I believe, are much better when we have two healthy adults engaged in the life of the child. And see, a lot of times that's not the case, right? Because the man, he may be in the child's life, but the mother is still insane. And being that she is insane, if the father isn't around or doesn't live with the kid, that means she has full control of said kid, which means the kid still may be at risk because there's no man to protect that kid from this crazy woman. But we continue. It says studies consistently show father involvement is associated with better outcomes for nearly every measure of a child's well-being, according to the Child and Family Research Partnership. Healthy father involvement also can serve as a protective factor to strengthen families at the risk of child abuse prevention programs. Something else we already know. It says prevention programs have evolved from focusing solely on reducing risk factors to also building protective factors in families, such as fatherhood initiatives. The Fatherhood Initiative provides education around responsible fatherhood, healthy relationships, and economic stability. The education component helps participants gain the skills and characteristics a responsible father would have, including healthy modes of communication, emotional support, stress management, appropriate discipline, and age appropriate expectations for children. Because if you know a child is going to spill the milk at age 3, you don't get upset about that, David said. If you do get upset about some of the things that children do, you now have the skills for appropriate discipline and not the discipline that can lead to maltreatment. Now we're going to stop there. What I'm going to do is put this in the chat as well. You good folk, read it for yourself. Don't just listen to me. Take these articles, all this yellow that you see up there, articles that are presented tonight. Read them for yourselves, man. Come to your own conclusions. And then ask yourself, does X overreact when it comes to these old mamas? Does he blow it out of proportion? Does he make these things up? Does he exaggerate? Read these articles, then ask yourself these questions. But see, I think I have. I think that might be the last read. Yeah, I think that might be the last read. Yeah, that's our last read. I tried to keep it short for y'all tonight. I didn't want to bore y'all with too much of this nonsense. Because by now, like I said, I know I probably don't even shock y'all no more, do I? I done brought y'all so much of this crap that y'all are like, damn, X, like, there's nothing left to shock y'all with. There's nothing left for me to shock y'all with. Because I've told y'all some of the most gruesome stories of children being killed. Hey, what's good, Tommy Jean? It looks like. I don't have on my glasses, so I can't really tell. It's at a distance. It's at a distance. I believe that says Tommy Jean. Tommy Jean Brown. What's good, lady? Tommy Jean. Yeah. I know I'm at the point now where I don't even shock y'all anymore, man. I mean, the stories that I have, man, are just ridiculous. Ridiculous. You look on this screen here, man. See all these women right here? None of these women are the women I told y'all about tonight. None of these women are the women that I told y'all about tonight. These are new. This is stuff just out of my archives, out of my computer. And guess what? You see these women with their children, next to their children, hugging their children. Every single woman you see to the right of her is her children, or the children are sitting with her or on her lap. Every single one of these women killed all the children you see here. And some of these women had like 4 children, 5 children. This lady here, 4 children. This lady here, 4 children. Killed them all. Killed them all. Every single one of them. And guess what? The majority of them, they're not in prison. No. They're not in prison. They're in some mental institution. They lost their mind, killed the babies, and then became sane again and was able to, strap the kids in the car and put their clothes on and lay them across the bed in certain positions and put books in their hands and put hats on their heads and take the babies and bury them in a box really, really deep in the backyard. So that moment of clarity comes, after the crazy, insane murder, that moment of clarity comes in and they're like, oh my goodness, I got to clean this baby up. I got to put some new clothes on this baby and sit it in a seat. Or I got to put this baby in a bag and put some air fresheners in the bag and put the baby's body in the crawl space. So there's always a bit of clarity that comes, right? After crazy comes clarity. Because if you're a crazy person, the babies would just be still like in the tub, right? Or laying in the floor with the knife still in them. Or shot. Or stabbed, just laying there. Blood everywhere. Right? And a lot of these kids are infants. So guess what? You strangling them or whatever you do to them, there's blood, there's probably feces and urine all over the place. If you're insane, the baby would just be laying there in its own blood and feces and urine in the middle of the floor, right? But somehow the clarity comes after the crazy. And the place gets cleaned up. The baby gets cleaned up. They'll even put on a nice outfit on the baby. Lay the baby on the couch. Put a cover over him. Tuck him in. Even though he's dead. I read y'all a story about one lady. She drowned the babies in the bathtub. She dried them off. Put clothes on them. Laid books in their hand. Rosary. And then went and recorded a video after she did it. After the crazy comes the clarity. But shout out to lady. Okay, she put the pronunciation up there. She says it's T.P.O.T Jean. T.P.O.T Jean. Boy, I gotta say this. I have to say this. Why do you women name these babies this stuff? I mean, what does T.P.O.T Jean even mean? Do you know? I'd love to know the story behind your name, lady T.P.O.T Jean. But hold up, I appreciate that $5 cash app, lady T.P.O.T Jean. And when you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that $5 super chat, lady T.P.O.T Jean. Say that. Can you say that 5 times fast? Can you say T.P.O.T Jean 5 times fast without stuttering? Is the question. I appreciate that $5 super chat though. Absolutely, I do. Say what? She says a German nurse named me. Wow. A German nurse. Are you and the German nurse still friendly after that? Nah, I'm just messing with you, lady T.P.O.T Jean. But yeah, man, it's strange, man. Because when you think about a mother, right? Because I'm these old mamas man. I see my brother Perfect Black is in the house. What's good, brother Perfect Black, my Chi-Town brother? What's your thoughts on Kevin Samuels? I talked about this earlier, brother Perfect Black, And I've talked to a few people and they told me it wasn't true. Now, that was a few hours ago. Um, like I said, I don't know. I have no idea. Um, I'm going with the whole it may be a marketing thing. It might even been someone else named Kevin Samuels. I haven't heard anything since I talked with folks earlier, and everybody's saying that is BS. It's not true, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably not going to be apt to believe it until I see a little bit, uh, maybe a little more concrete proof. I need to see, something different. All right. I need to see or hear something different than what I'm seeing and hearing now. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, and until there's some solid proof about it, I'm just gonna assume that it's just a bunch of BS. So, I guess it remains to be seen at this point. It remains to be seen, my good brother. I don't know. Because I heard about it earlier. So the first thing I did was, call people who I thought may know more than me. Because I had like just came in. Yeah, I had just came in. I guess it was like 6 o'clock. Yeah, I had like just walked into the house and, I checked my ticker because I don't really pay that much attention to the ticker on my phone all that much because it's just a distraction when I'm working. So, I came in and, got myself together, and sat down at the computer with something to eat. And that came across my ticker. And I'm like, wow. So the first thing I did was jump on my phone, and start, calling brothers and texting brothers and asking them, did y'all hear this? And everybody I talked to said it was BS. And everybody I talked to said it was BS. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess we will see in time. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, I just got a email here. Oh, let's see. Let me see if this got anything to do with it. Let's see, folks. Let's see if the up-to-date info is coming through. Oh no, this is something else. This is about one of my voiceover gigs, not about Brother Samuel. Sorry, y'all. Some other shit. this is some this is some voiceover work related stuff, Because as y'all know, I do voiceovers for people. As y'all know, I do voiceovers for people on YouTube all the time. It's something that I do. I've been doing it for a while. I do voiceover work. If you look around YouTube, you'll probably, you'll hear my voice on a lot of places, a lot of intros, outros, people's website. Uh, when the Manosphere meetup, when they did the first Manosphere meetup, they actually hired me to do the voiceovers for the commercials, so yeah. But those of you who know me, y'all already know that y'all already know that I do that. So that ain't no damn news to y'all. But yeah. So we're gonna go with that, man. And I done rambled on for like an hour and some change. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. If you brothers want to come through, y'all know what to do. And shout out to my man, Brother Leon. Brother Leon, man. Been coming down here a lot, supporting this here channel, man, like nobody's business. Shout out to Brother Leon, the 411 Talk Zone radio show with the $10 super chat. Appreciate that, Brother Leon. He says, shout out to you, Brother X. Keep the heat on these mamas. Brother Leon, you know I will, man. You know I will never let up. I've been on these old mamas ever since the beginning, back when you and I first met. So I will probably never let up. And once it gets close to Mother's Day, I do a little something different like I did tonight. Tonight, of course, I came with some horrible, tragic, draconian stories. You know I did. But I also kind of, did some reads on the why, the psychology, the psychosis of it all, Brother Leon. Why do they do it? And I also read the information I was telling the good folk, Brother Leon, that if a man kills a child, 72% of the time he goes to prison. Only 26% of the time does he go to a mental institution for doing it. But on the other side of that, if a woman kills a kid, 72% of the time she goes to a mental institution. She only goes to prison at about 27%. It's only a 27% chance that she goes to prison. Big difference, right? You got a 27% chance of going to prison if you kill a kid and you're a woman. You got a 72% chance of going to jail if you kill a kid if you're a man. Let that swirl around in your mind for a while. But yeah, shout out, man, to Brother Leon, man, 411 Talk Radio Show. Y'all need to get down there, man, because Brother Leon be talking about some good shit, man. And every now and then, quiet is kept. I bite off of Leon shit from time to time. I'll be watching, I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to talk about that shit tomorrow. Every now and then I bite off your shit, Brother Leon. But when you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, Brother Leon. So yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and open it up, man. If you brothers want to come through, talk about this, talk about these child murders. Big brother Big Mag is in the house. What's good, brother Big Mag? My brother. If you want to come through, you know what to do. The email is properthought@yahoo.com. That's properthought, one word, no caps, at yahoo.com. Yeah, man. If y'all want to come through and talk, discuss it, opine, tell me, X, you need to stop talking about these mamas as much as you do. You want to come up here and say that too, that's fine too. Yeah, you come up here and say that if you want to. God damn it, Xavier. I'm tired of you talking about these mothers. I'm tired of it, Xavier. Stop doing it. If you want to come up here and say that, that's all right too. But just know that it's not going to have any effect on the old mama material going forward. Just know that before you come up here and say it. But, this is the thing, right? When you think about mothering, right? And if you just got in or you're watching the replay, you probably want to go ahead and rewind it. Because, man, I told some stories, man, earlier that will blow you away. The things that these mothers did to these children, man. The way they murdered them. You had women who amputated body parts off of children. One woman, she killed all 9 of her children. Sliced their throats. Shot them. Suffocated them. Duct taped a 4-day-old baby. Mouth duct taped, thrown into a plastic bag, and thrown in the garbage. The baby didn't even die from the elements. The baby died from suffocation because it had duct tape wrapped around its mouth. Like, and they said, the report that I read said an average of 200 women kill their kids every year in the United States. And I keep saying this, that's at least 200 babies killed every year, at least. And that's assuming that these women only had one kid. But if you look at the screen right here to my right, well, it'll be to y'all left, but it's to my right. All these women up here, you see, they had multiple children. See? 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, multiple children. So how many children is that getting killed a year? 400? 500? Let's assume every one of those women had 3 kids. That's 600 babies murdered by their mothers. And from the report, it said that women often kill children that are 8 and under. Usually when a child gets killed and it's 8 or under, it's usually by the mother. Fathers kill the kid is older, by average, according to the report. So what is it about these little tykes that makes these mothers want to kill them? Now, of course, the report said, they have psychosis and postpartum depression and, all this other kind of stuff. But how you got postpartum depression and the kid is 5? You would think that would be something, when the kid is like a month or maybe even a year. Kid's 5. So that means she probably had postpartum depression ever since he was a month, 2 months, a year, 6 months, whatever, right? And it's always this "I'm insane" thing. A lot of those reports I read ended with they were found not guilty by reason of insanity. Like a lot of those reports I read, found not guilty by reason of insanity. Found not guilty by reason of insanity. So once they put them in this mental institution, if they're insane, that means they should never come out of the institution, right? Because see, I'm a true believer that you can't go from crazy to sane. You can go from sane to crazy, but I don't think I've ever heard of anybody going from crazy to sane. So when you do let them out, in which they do, I talked to y'all about this last week about the woman who drove all her kids into the ocean, and she was pregnant with one as well. She did 4 years in some mental institution, and she's back out and back seeing the kids. The one she tried to murder. There, she's back out. But I'll say again, once you're insane, do they deem them not insane anymore and let them out? Do they say you're fixed? You're fixed. Now you can go out. And a lot of these women are young. So what does that mean? Because it's not like they're going to have a hard time finding somebody to fuck them. Because they didn't have a hard time having somebody fuck them before. And I'm pretty sure they were quite insane before that. Obviously. So what happens now? You done let her out of the loony bin. She's still young enough to have babies. Somebody will climb on top of her, obviously. And now we got another kid born. One story I had read earlier, 10 years before she freaking strangled the 1.5-year-old with her bare hands, 10 years before that, she had let her son die of dehydration and malnutrition. So she had already killed one kid and somehow was able to have another and kill that kid too. How does this happen? She kills the babies, man. Should we just let her roll out of the crazy house after a few years? Should we just let her continue to get out there and have more kids and kill them too? These are the things that we have to think about. And I refer again to what you see and hear. Because notice, those ain't the usual old mamas. None of the Momnificent 7 are up there. These are 9 women y'all have never seen on this show before. And boy, I got a plenty of them. Boy, I got a plenty of them. I have enough of these stories that I could probably do a show on it every week for the next 3, 4, 5 months, maybe 6 months. I could do a show once a week on this and never run out of material. And I know when I'm up here, man, and I'm talking about this stuff, y'all probably say to yourself, oh, X, man, it's just isolated incidents, man. You nitpicking and you doing this, doing that. Keep believing that shit. And better yet, type into your Google search, mothers that kill their children. And then ask yourself, is X overblowing this? Do that Google search. And then ask yourself, is X overblowing it? Because, see, I don't really care about these old crazy women. I really don't. They obviously got mental problems. They obviously shouldn't have had the kids in the first place. They obviously are a danger to children. They obviously are people who can't see humanity at all. Because, see, I don't buy the whole I was insane and killed them nonsense. It may be true or valid, man, for some of these cases, but shit, earlier I read off 20 cases in a row. And I think at least half of them was they were found not guilty by reason of insanity. But I just don't buy the whole I went crazy and I killed the baby stuff, man. I think they do this out of anger. I think they do this out of revenge against a man. I think they do this because they don't see these children as human. I guess that's why I get so pissed off when people start talking about our population is dwindling and we need to have more kids and we need to replenish our population. But what about these kids that are being killed? Aren't they part of the population? Forget about the abortions, because that's a total nother stream. But what about the kids that get killed after they're already born? Because, I know it's a lot of, things and issues and politics behind women being able to terminate their pregnancies at what stage, how many months, what kind of a termination, what kind of abortion. I get all of that. But what about the babies that are killed after they're born? They're terminating these children post birth. They're aborting these children when they're 1, when they're 2, when they're 3. But let's think about that. Are these women that would have gotten an abortion? Follow me now. Because if they would kill the children, would they have a problem terminating a pregnancy? Did they wish they had terminated these children? Because it's some pretty dark stuff to strangle a 1.5-year-old, to stab a 45-day-old baby in the throat with a kitchen knife, to dismember an infant's body, to shoot a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 1-year-old. To take a baby and hold it underwater as it scuffles and squirms and till it finally stops breathing. That's quite dark. That's some medieval grade stuff. You take a baby and strangle it with your bare hands. One story I read earlier, the woman took the baby, put the baby in the microwave, and turned the microwave on. Can you imagine that? The baby in the microwave slowly being cooked from the inside out as it kicked and squirmed and screamed and hollered and banged up against the walls of the microwave as its flesh burned And this woman just sashayed on like nothing was happening. What kind of people are these women? These people aren't even human. Even those Negroes who ride around there and shoot in parks and playgrounds and in schools and stray bullets, hit 5 and 6-year-olds. I don't even think one of those Negroes are evil enough to dismember an infant or take an infant and put it in a microwave and cook it. I don't even think those Negroes are that draconian, that evil. Especially when you're talking about babies. A baby that you could easily just take to the fire department. That's what makes this so crazy, right? Fine. You don't want the baby anymore. Why can't you just take that baby to the fire department, the police department, the YMCA, the hospital? You can literally leave that baby on the step and walk away, and not a damn thing will happen to you. But instead, you put the baby in the microwave. You strangle it. You suffocate it. You drown it. You stab it. You sit there and you watch the life go right out of that child. Caused by your goddamn hand. And these crazy old mamas do this stuff, and right after they're done, told you, after crazy comes clarity. They clean up their crime. They clean up the kid. Do something with the body. And then just go and watch television. Go to the store. Go out with their friends. I read y'all a story about a woman who left 2 of her kids at home, took the one kid, let the kid sleep on the sidewalk while she went inside the nightclub. Those kids should be taken away from that woman immediately. Immediately. And never given back to her. Ever. But this is the thing. They'll take the kids, I'm sure. Or grandma, somebody, they'll take the kids or whatever if they're available. And guess what'll happen? Those kids will be right back with her black ass. They'll be right back with her. Because for some reason, crazy ass women like this, they won't just take the kids away from these women. They do everything in their fucking power to get these kids back to them. Yeah, they may make them go to some bullshit program and sign up for counseling and do all this kind of stuff. But the eventual goal is to get the kids back to this person who's beat them, who's left them alone for days, damn near starved them to death, left them locked in a basement, tried to poison them. It's like if they don't kill them, they'll make sure they get them back so they can. Because every time these babies turn up dead, they discover that these women either caused another one of their kids to die years ago, or beat them, or burned them, or mistreated them, or starved them, or choked them, or did something to them before. But somehow, the children are back with this person who did this. That I don't understand. Like the chick I talked about last week. Not only was she pregnant at the time that she drove the car into the ocean, 3 other kids in the car, babies, just drove the car in the ocean. And when the lifeguards run out there to save the kids, she just walks away from that damn car and don't even look back. Four years later, she's getting out of a mental institution because you know she did not go to jail. Out of the mental institution, seeing the kids again, kids still around her. Shoot, they probably live with her again. Who knows? And that's the thing. If they don't kill the kids the first time, somehow they always get a second shot. They always get a second shot at it if they don't kill them the first time. And these fucking women are evil, man. They are just fucking evil. They're evil people. And you wonder why people like myself talk about this shit. Because people are always talking about, you need to worship your mama black, that's your mama, and also kind of bullshit. So what about these kids? They worship their mama, I'm pretty sure. A lot of them, they mama black too. But somehow they're dead. So is their mama this great parent? Was she worthy of a day? She wanted out of her day, didn't she? They weren't looking forward to the next Mother's Day, were they? They wanted out of Mother's Day. Obviously, right? Because the only people that could call them mother, they murdered them. Old mama wanted out of Mother's Day. She didn't want Mother's Day to be a thing anymore. Didn't want to be called mom or mama no more. She was tired of being called mama, wasn't she? She wasn't thinking about Mother's Day when she murdered these kids. When they here murdered these kids. That's why I can't entertain that mama this, mama that crap. No. I've seen the worst of them. I've got records of the worst of them. And I won't sit up here and say it's every single mother on the planet. Absolutely not. But it's way too many doing this shit. They ain't isolated incidents. They're not a fluke. They're not a blip on the radar. It's a problem. And it's getting worse. And it spiked a bit during the whole corona situation. And we know why, don't we? Those kids was home too much. She had to deal with them all day long. She couldn't go fuck off and suck dicks and do all kinds of bullshit while they were in school. She had to do something every single day that she's not used to doing during the week. You know, being their mother. So, of course, it spiked. Your kids are home more. Got to be parented more. You know, she's used to them leaving. You know, they leave the house 7:30. She ain't got to see them no more than 4 o'clock. She cherishes those 8 hours. She can sleep, be on Facebook, make twerk videos, get banged, get another one up in her gut. Now that all the kids is there, that cuts into that. Cuts into old mama's activity. Mama can't take it. Especially if mama was a lackluster parent to begin with. During the corona crisis, you know, those old mamas just became worse. I'm sure they didn't become better mothers during corona. They probably became worse. The fact that those kids went to school every day was probably their saving grace. That 8 hours away from her ass. They'd probably be hoping her ass sleep when they get home. Because she treat them so damn bad. So I'm not surprised at all that the abuse and the killings of children went up during that time. Not surprised at all. Of course it did. I knew it would. I told my wife about it. I was like, these old mamas going to be killing more of these kids now because now they got to deal with them every single day. Not just Saturday and Sunday, but Monday through Friday too. And they ain't used to that. Because I'm a true believer that a lot of these mamas, all they do is use the school as a damn daycare. Why you think a lot of these kids can't read and write and count, do math, know colors, write the name? Because guess what? They weren't being taught none of that shit, man, before they started school. They say, oh, the school will teach them how to read. The school will teach them how to write, how to count, how to write their name, colors, numbers, time, how to say please, how to say excuse me, how to say thank you. The school will teach them that. No worries. The school will teach them that. And I talked about this with my Chi-Town brother, Perfect Black, last week. If you got an unruly kid who has no discipline, he doesn't know numbers, he doesn't know colors, can't count, doesn't know words, he gets into the schoolhouse. What happens? Not only is he not really ready for school, he's not ready for anything else either. Because the time they could be spending teaching them how to read, teaching them how to write, teaching them how to count, teaching them colors, teaching them numbers, they spend all that time telling him to sit down. Don't do that. Say excuse me. Say please. Say thank you. They're spending time teaching him things that he should have been learning at home. He should have been learning that at home. But now the teachers have to divert time from teaching him scholastic things to teaching him things like manners, teaching him things like courtesy, teaching him things like decency. And that only lasts that 8 hours or that week. Because guess what? At 4 o'clock every day, he go right back to the same place where he's not learning shit. So even that isn't effective. Because it's not like the parent and the kid is working in unison. Because even if the teachers are teaching him to have courtesy, manners, decency, respect, even if they're trying to give him an infinitesimal piece of that, as soon as he goes home, he's right back at Berserker's Barrage, where everything goes. And mama calls you motherfucker and nigger and knocks you upside your head for spilling milk on the table, half feeding you, talking to you like you're an animal. But see, one thing about children, they're very forgiving. Especially when they're little. Especially when it comes to mama. She can beat that baby down till he can barely move. And the first thing he do, when he get up from this WWE type beating, even though he's 2 years old, he get right up. He reach right for that same person who just beat him like he was a grown person. Beat him like he was a rented mule. He gets right up. And he reaches right for that same person. That alone has to create some type of psychological conflict, doesn't it? When these babies reach for the same person who just finished brutalizing them 5 minutes ago. But I say again, children are very forgiving, especially when it comes to their old mammy. And it's not like it ends once they're grown or close to grown, especially when they don't have a father in their life. These kids, they love these old crazy women you see here. They love them. They never try to hold these women to account for what they did to them when they were little. We know it. I talk about this all the time. A lot of you out there, your mother brutalized you, man. A lot of you, your mama broke your arms, put cigarettes out on you, whipped you till you bled, whipped you till your body was sore, starved you, left you home by yourself, all kinds of foolishness. And you remember it. But you'll still stand around talking about, oh, that's my mama. Exactly. That's your mama treating you like shit. She's the only person who can treat us that bad and we'll still worship her. We'll still pretend like it means nothing. If your father did that to you, you wouldn't want anything to do with him when you became an adult. If all you can remember is your father just beating you, throwing you downstairs, starving you, leaving you alone, locking you in closets and allowing his freaking girlfriend to molest you. When you became an adult, you wouldn't want anything to do with that man. And I wouldn't blame you. But a lot of you, mama did the same thing to you. She abused the hell out of you, whipped the hell out of you, allowed the Negro she dragged in and out the house to be in your room all the time. And as you got older, told her about these things and she denied it. A lot of your mamas, when this stuff was happening to you and those Negroes she had around were in your room, she blamed you. She blamed you. Not the creep, not herself. She blamed you. And being that she's the deity that you worship, you actually believed it was your fault. It was all your fault that you were getting abused and beaten. It was all your fault that her damn boyfriend was in your room at night. It was all your fault. Because, see, you were this kid that just knew all this stuff. You were this kid who was just so advanced in years that you drawed in her boyfriend. You've heard it, especially us black folk. Kids walking around and girl 10 years old, her mama's accusing her of trying to take her man. She's 10. She can barely take a piss. How the hell is she trying to take your man? But that's just it, right? A lot of these old mamas, I don't think they really have a problem with these dudes coming in and molesting the children. They don't have a problem with it at all. As long as the kid is little. Especially their daughters. As long as that kid is little, she's 7, she 8, she 9, 10, whatever. They don't have a problem with it at all. That's why they deny it, blame the kid, pretend it ain't happening. They're scared to rock the boat, scared to run the Negro away from there, scared to kick him out. See they damn kids as an incentive for this Negro to stay. Well, if I let him molest my daughter, maybe he won't leave. Might be my last chance to get married. Even though she got the 4 illegitimate bastards by 4 other people. My last chance to get married. So they don't care if he's molesting a little girl. They don't care. Until little girl start to develop. Once little girls start to grow a little bit, she got a problem with it now, don't she? She didn't give a damn about these fools, these creeps in this girl room at night when she was 5 and 6 and 7. But now she's 15. She's 16. Oh yeah, old mama got a problem with it now, don't she? Girl's a teenager, even if she go and tell her old mama about it. Her mama go upside her head and probably kick her out. I knew you wanted my man. I've heard so many stories of it, man. I mean, tapes and tapes and tapes and tapes, man. I have an interview of a girl, and I don't think y'all have ever seen it because I've never put it on YouTube. It was an interview that I did in Brooklyn a long time ago. I think it was, I don't know, it was 2013. And I was interviewing this girl, and she told me how 2 of her mother's men had molested her. She said molestation started when she was about 7 years old. And she told her mother about it. And of course, mom denied it, blamed her, all this kind of crap. And even though she had told her mother about this, her mother would continue to bring this child to this man's house. The man eventually left when she was about 10 or 11. And mom got a new man. And when mom got a new man, the molestation started again. Now, she's like almost a teenager. So she's being molested by this guy for years. She gets pregnant by this guy while she was a teenager. She gets pregnant by the guy, I think when she was like 15 or 16. And this is where the story takes a strange, crazy turn. She ends up being with the guy. The guy leaves and, you know, she's a teenager. She leaves and goes and lives with this guy now, right? Has another kid by said guy. And I'm like, because at this time, my mind is blown. I got the cameras out there and all that shit. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening. And I'm like, this woman allowed her daughter's life to be ruined by these fucking men she was fucking with. She got one man there. He's freaking molesting the girl. And the next man he comes right in and starts molesting her too. Obviously brainwashes this girl after he's gotten her pregnant. All right. He decides to leave and take her with him. She becomes his girl. They have another kid together. I mean, just maybe I'll put it up, man. Maybe y'all probably want to see that interview, right? Yeah, I did it back in it was 2012, 2013. I did it because I used to be all over the place, man. I'd be in Jersey, I'd be in New York City, I'd be in so many different places, man. And I would take my video equipment with me and I would record this stuff, and use it, for the radio and shit. Cause I used to be in radio and stuff. So, I'd use like those videos. And that one I never put up. And I had edited it and everything, man. I brought it in, I did a good edit on it and put some music behind it and a bunch of other shit. But I never put it up. I didn't get into this YouTube thing till about 2015. So this was way before that. But I still have it. I still have it. I put this interview up, man, because I'm actually leaving some parts out because the interview was like an hour and a half long. So I mean, she told me so many things. I mean, things that will make your fucking flesh crawl. I heard from this girl. And I don't know. I might put it up. I might. All depends on how many requests I get. If I get enough requests under this video, then I'll put it up and let y'all hear it for yourselves. Trust me, be prepared to just want to vomit. Be prepared to, you know, be prepared to want to just strangle this guy that she talks about, even though you don't know him. Because as she was telling me this shit, I was like, I want to go strangle this motherfucker. you know? And I didn't even know her that well, I didn't even know her that well. But I mean, this old mama allowed this child's life to be ruined. This old mama allowed this child to not know where boundaries were. Because if she knew where boundaries were, she wouldn't have left with that man when she was a teenager. But she was so used to being abused and molested that she just thought it was normal. She got pregnant by mama's man, had the baby, and he left and took her with him. Then had another baby for him. And guess what, y'all? Guess what? She was still with him at the time of the interview. Still with them at the time of the interview. Let that float around in your mind for a while. I don't think she's with him now, but yeah, she was still with them at the time of the interview. And I asked her, I said, why are you still with this guy? And she said, because I love him and he loves me. So I asked a follow up, I said, well, when did you start thinking that, he loved you? He was molesting you. He was molesting you. And she said, after a while, she actually started to like it. Let me say that again. She said she started to like it. Now, mind you, when I spoke to her, she was, I think, 30 when I spoke to her. So the oldest kid she had for him was, I guess they were a teenager. They were about 14 or 15. Then she had another kid that was like maybe 12, a little younger than that. Both by this guy who was molesting her while she was living with her mom, mom's man. And like I said, at the time, she was still with the fucking guy. She was still with him, y'all. They were quote unquote family. So it's not like I just have talk, because y'all know my shit, man. Y'all know I got all these stories, man. Like my girl Nora P. She came up here and told y'all about how she was molested for years and years and years from the time she was 7, that the women would actually take her as a little girl and leave her over there with her uncles for her to be molested. Y'all heard that story, right? If you haven't, go in the archives. I've had quite a few girls come on here and talk about how their mothers literally fed them to these dudes. Literally. And you wonder why I talk about these old mamas the way I do. You wonder why. But I think I'm going to wrap this up. I've ranted enough. I think I've turned your stomachs enough. Until next time, I've turned your stomachs enough. But y'all know I do this every year. I have a special Mama's Day stream every year. And I make sure when I come up here, I tell you the things that make your goddamn flesh crawl. Because I think y'all need to know why I do this. Because I know y'all wonder why. Man, why do X always talk about these old mamas? These old mamas. Why are these old mamas? And I got all y'all saying it. All of y'all are saying it. Them old mamas. These old mamas. I got all you Negroes saying it, don't I? Ah, Everywhere I go, y'all be saying that shit. These old mamas, them old mamas. I got y'all saying that shit, don't I? I'm glad I do. Because that means you've been watching. And if you've been watching, that means you've been listening. And if you've been listening, that means you've been understanding. And that's always a good thing, isn't it? Because if you ask me, and you know I'm biased as hell, if you ask me, I think a lot of these old mamas, they want out. They want out of Mother's Day. They don't give a shit about Mother's Day because they don't give a shit about being nobody's mother. They don't want to be nobody's mama. They don't want to. They want out. They're done. They're like, fuck Mother's Day. All you kids need to die. They're not looking forward to Mother's Day. They're looking forward to being rid of these damn kids. And see, what happens is, because a lot of women are very short-sighted, right? They kill the babies, during the crazy. And right after crazy comes what? The clarity. And now they realize, damn, the kids are really dead. What am I going to do? That's what happens. They kill these kids, and then the clarity comes like, oh, damn, I done killed the kids. And then, they try to do whatever they can, as if whatever they do is going to make them killing the kids less of a crime. If I clean up, if I hide the body, if I tell the police I wasn't here when it happened, because they're short-sighted. They treat this shit like a video game, You kill the kid, and guess what? You press restart, and now the baby's back alive again. But see, in reality, it doesn't work that way. You done killed the baby's dead. So now what do? They go into save my ass mode now. As if their ass can be saved from this. The saving of their ass doesn't happen until they go to court and pretend to be nuts. Or should I say, pretend to be more nuts than they already are. And the state and the county and everything, they got a whole bunch of excuses lined up for them. All this female bullshit, postpartum, psychosis, all the depression, stress, all this other kind of BS they can kind of fall on and say I had to kill the kids because I was stressed out because their father left. I killed them because demons were saying to do it. I killed them because I have voices in my head. And they go off to some mental institution for a few years and they right back out. And with what's going on now, and I spoke about this on Brother Bernard's the other day, I think you're going to see more. I'll still be rolling footage like this, showing you pictures of these old mamas who done murdered all the babies. Just that I'll have more stories. I'll have more tales. I'll turn your stomach more. Because I don't think there's one single thing that hasn't been done to these babies. Stabbing, burning, shooting, drowning, suffocating, choking. One woman put her infant in the microwave and just hit the button. Toot, toot, toot. And just let the baby cook. And probably put it on cook too. Not reheat or defrost. No. Cook. Just sat there and watched the baby smoke and radiate from the inside out, and just went on and watched television while all that was going on. It's what we have, man. Because like I said, man, some of these old mamas, they want out of Mother's Day. They want out. Because see, me, I've said this many times before. If you had a shitty mother, there shouldn't be a day of her getting flowers and a cake and a card and taking the Olive Garden. It should be the day that you remind her black ass or her white ass or her Latino ass or her Asian ass or her Martian ass. This should be a day of you reminding her of how shitty of a fucking mom she was. Remind her ass how bad she treated y'all. The things she did. The things she didn't do. The things she fucking allowed. If she was a shitty mom, she shouldn't be rewarded on Sunday. She shouldn't. You walk in there and you say, Mom, let me talk to you. Let's have a Mother's Day talk. Why didn't you stop that motherfucker from coming in my room at night? And of course, Mom, I don't remember that. You lying. Yeah? Won't you sit down with old mama? Ask her these things. That's what Mother's Day should be about. Because maybe, just maybe, this one time, she can actually act like she's your mother by telling you the fucking truth about the shit she did to you and the shit she allowed to happen to you. That's what Mother's Day should be about for mothers who were shit mothers. No flowers, no candy, no card, no cake. No dinner at a fancy restaurant. No. How about Mother's Day be about you being my mother? How about Mother's Day be about you clearing the air? How about Mother's Day be about you fucking apologizing? How about that? But don't hang your fucking hat on that. Because even if you survived her wanting out of her day, she will never cop to it. She's going right to her fucking grave, never copping to any of it, never taking blame for any of it, and definitely never fucking apologizing for any of it. So don't go in there looking for no apology. Go in there to make her understand that you remember. That's what I suggest you do for Mother's Day if your mother was not a mother. Don't give her ass shit. Give her some memories. You know that shit she claims she forgot. Because if she don't outright accuse your ass of lying, the first thing she gonna say is, I don't remember that. Her black ass lying. She remember all that shit. She's just hoping that you don't. But that's all. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But before I go, you know I got to hit y'all in the head with T.P.O.T's programming notes. Yeah, because we got quite a few shows lined up, Negroes. Yeah, we got quite a few shows lined up for you Negroes. Because tomorrow, a show I've been actually looking forward to, my man, brother Spiritual Logic will be here, man. And we will be asking the question, is God real? So that's going to be good. You probably want to be here for that one. I know I turned y'all stomachs tonight, which I normally do at least once a year around this time. But yeah, man, brother Spiritual Logic will be here, man. And those of you who are familiar with brother Spiritual Logic, you know he talks about how life correlates with the scriptures, and I mean, very solid brother, man. And he does good content down there. I actually peep in on him from time to time. I'm subscribed. Y'all need to subscribe too. But he will be here tomorrow night. And like I said, man, we'll be asking the question, man, is God real? So make sure you have your black behinds here, man, 9 p.m. Eastern time, only on T.P.O.T Media. You Negroes know. And then Saturday, the Ridiculous Race Game returns. And I got a good cast of characters coming through, man. Brother A Truism will be here. Brother Freezone will be here. My man, Brother SKC will be here. And of course, you know, we got to have a white person. So Survival will be here as well. And Saturday's theme, because you know they always have somewhat of a theme. Saturday's theme is going to be law and order. Law and order is the theme. And we're going to be talking about the laws and how racist they are or how racist they are not. Because those of you who have been watching the Ridiculous Race Game, you know we talk about bigotry, prejudice, discrimination, and we have a few laughs at racism's expense because some of this racist shit is just totally ridiculous. So make sure you hear Saturday night, man. Y'all know we throw down a little early on Saturday. We usually throw down around 8 o'clock, you know, instead of the usual 9:30 Eastern. We throw down at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you hear, man, Saturday night, man. It's probably going to be a good one. I got a good cast of characters this week. Yeah, I got a good cast of characters this week, so it should be good. Then Wednesday, we right back at it because my brother Big Nate, will be here, and he'll be squaring off with another one of my brothers, brother J.I., and they will be talking about morality and termination rights. You know, it all correlates with what's going on in the Supreme Court. You guys know that brother Big Nate is very anti-abortion. Brother J.I., he's better known for the financial abortion. So it should get a little heated. It's going to be good. Both brothers I respect greatly, and they'll be squaring off, man, in the Digital Squared Circle on Wednesday, man. So make sure you hear, man, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. So yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Um, I'll just say this, man, before we get out of here. I'll never be the one to tell you to not love your mother. I would never do that. That's your old mama. All right. But what I will say is, if she was a woman who mistreated you, she neglected you, starved you, allowed you to be harmed, and was in denial in it forever, she just lived in denial of it, man, she definitely don't deserve to be fucking deified. Absolutely not. And she definitely don't need to be cherished on Mother's Day. Why? Because she was not your mother. She wasn't your mother. She allowed those things to happen to you. She wasn't your mama. She was that old mama. She wasn't your mama. She wasn't your mother. She wasn't. I know some of you out there, man, you know, you had decent mothers. She had you, took care of you, and tried to raise you the best way she could. She might have even married your old black ass daddy and raised your ass right. But some of you were raised by women like this. Some of you were raised by women who didn't give a shit about you. Some of you were raised by the women on this collage here. I know you see this head, and some of these women up here probably look like your old mammy. You saying to yourself, damn, how the hell X get a picture out of our album? How did he get this? How did he get this photo of my mom? Because your mom was in the news. She was in the news, man. Fair use, Negro. Fair use. But some of you were raised by women like this, man. You were just fortunate. She didn't kill you. You probably were one breath away from being killed. One infraction from her killing you. One glass of milk spilled. One temper tantrum. One putting on the wrong shirt or the wrong shoes or not getting up on time. I mean, you probably were only one move away. If you had a shitty mom, you probably were one move away from that woman killing you and didn't even know it. Thankfully, you survived, man. Now, don't get me wrong. She wanted out of her day too. That's why she treated you so bad. She didn't give a shit about Mother's Day. A lot of these women, they don't care about Mother's Day till they ass old. They get so old where they can't rely on their pussy no more. That old funk box is only good for urinating now. And barely do that with it. That's when they care about Mother's Day. They got their sons and daughters. They come around and give them cards and gifts and chocolate and bake them a cake and take them to Red Lobster. That kind of shit. They care about it now. Guarantee you. Think back when you were a kid. Shit, Mother's Day was probably one of those days that she whooped your ass. And while she was whooping your ass, she was like, nigga, it's Mother's Day. Tired of you little motherfuckers. This is my day. Get your ass out of here. You ain't getting shit to eat today. Probably did that on Mother's Day. On Mother's Day, she had that leather strap across your ass, or that mop handle, or a chair. Because, see, she wanted out of that day then. She just never got the chance to kill your ass. You survived. You made it out in one piece. Thankfully. You made it out in one piece. But don't forget, just because you made it out doesn't mean you have to forget what happened to you. And maybe you've forgiven her. Maybe y'all have had the talk. Maybe y'all have. I don't know. But if you haven't, you need to. Not for her sake, man. For yours. So before you walk in there and get this old woman who treated you like shit, a box of chocolates, a card, and a cake, leave that shit in the car. And walk in there and ask her about some of this shit. If she cops to it, maybe she's worthy of that shit you bought. If she don't, take that shit, give it to your wife. Shit. Give it to a mother who's a good mother. Because if she was one of those old mamas who wanted out, she don't deserve none of that shit you were going to give her. But that's all. Like I said, man, we're going to go ahead, man, and wrap it up, man. Make sure you hear, man, we streaming for the next few days. I'm actually glad I was able to do this. My work week was pretty light this week. Shit. Uh, Tomorrow I ain't doing shit because it's Friday. Drinking beer and smoking cigars, the usual Friday thing. Um, Probably got to work half a day on Saturday. That's fine. I don't care about that. It's not a big deal. Yeah, man, we streaming hard, man, the next few days. And then we're gonna, of course, take a few days off and we're not gonna stream again till Wednesday. And like I said, we got a debate on Wednesday night. Brother Big Nate, Brother J, I will be here squaring off about this termination thing. So yeah, man, I appreciate all of y'all coming out tonight, man. I appreciate the cash apps and the super chats, man. But most importantly, man, I appreciate your participation over anything else, man. I don't take you good folks lightly, man. I never have, but I never will. You got my word on that. So, like I said, man, make sure you have your black behinds here, man, the next couple of days, man. Got some good shows coming down the pipe for you folk. All right. All right. So, with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words, like I always do. Open your minds. Peace, folk. Tonight, on this episode of
Them old mama.
I bring you mamas who kill.
Them old mama.
Dark XO.
Think about this. Think about this. Think about this.
You put that crap down on your shoe. Them old mama.
Dark XO.
You put that crap down on your shoes. Them old mama.
Think about this. Think about this. Think about this. Think about this.
Enough.
The darkness continues.
Only from T.P.O.T Media. Open your mind.